Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, September 16th, 2021. Steve Sipress here. And I see in the news and on social media, there's all this brouhaha about one of these U.S. generals undermining the authority of the commander-in-chief. And then you see all these people. I'm always amused when people go, there's no such thing as the deep state. What BS? Of course, there's not a deep state. Like, you must be kidding me. Here's the deal. There is a deep state in virtually every single organization on Earth. Certainly any organization of any size, but even real small ones, like families. That was my first experience being a member of the deep state. The deep state meaning people who are not technically supposed to be in authority, deciding that they're going to buck authority and they're going to do things their way because they know better. And so I remember being a little kid. Am I alone? Babysitter would come over. There was my younger sister and me, and my parents would, tell the rules to the babysitter. This is what time they go to sleep. No snacks, this, that, no TV pass, whatever all the rules were. I don't remember. All I know was, yeah, it's not the way it's going to be. I know that as soon as my parents left, I, as a member of the deep state in my family, informed the person in authority, the babysitter, of how it was actually going to be. I said, yeah, but these are the real rules, okay? We're staying up later, we're eating snacks, we're doing whatever, and you're not telling my parents, because if you do, you're never going to get back here. But if you don't tell them, we're going to say all kinds of great things about you, and then you'll have an ongoing gig, and you'll make plenty of money, and they'll probably even give you a big tip and love you and give you a ride home and all the good things, whatever that person wanted. But the bottom line is, I was the deep state. I was the behind the scenes, under the cover, unbeknownst to my parents who were actually in authority, bucking all of their rules and causing all kinds of trouble that they didn't know about, because that's why it's called the deep state. It's deep. It operates kind of undercover where people don't even know, like this general thing on the news, like Trump didn't even know, or his security advisor, secretary of state, like none of them knew that this general was undermining all of their authority and overstepping his bounds. But he just felt he was being a hero and saving the country from the evil, crazy, deranged Donald Trump. So therefore, he can make up his own rules and do whatever he wants. That's the very definition of the deep state. I've been a member of the deep state, that kind of rebel, almost everywhere I've been. Certainly every job I've had. I spent 3.5 years at the only big corporate job I've ever had for a Fortune 500 company. And I remember once a new manager came in after I've been there about 2.5 years or so. Manager, our office within the company ranks went from last place when I came on board to number one in the company, even in the first year I was there, go figure. And then, of course, again in the second year. And so our division manager running the whole place got promoted up to VP of the company. New manager comes in, and he called me into his office after a couple of months, and he was like, hey, can you please stop doing whatever I was doing, complaining about something or talking about something or whatever I was saying. And I'm like, he's like, because then other people are going to, you're messing up other people or something. I'm like, why are you telling me? What does it matter to you what I say and what I do? You're the manager. I remember being so naive, I didn't even realize I was a member of the deep state. And I said, you're the manager. What does it matter what I do? And he looked at me as the ridiculous person I was and said, you don't even realize? I'm like, don't realize what? He goes, everyone here follows you. They hang on your every word. They follow everything you say. They follow you a heck of all. You're the leader of the whole place. I didn't know. I was so naive, so just not paying any attention to that. And so he had to play politics with me to ask me, practically beg me, to not undermine his authority. I was member of the deep state, no matter what management said, no matter what the rules were, no matter what the script was. People would ask me, how do you put together the script, and what do you say? And I'm like, script? I don't use the stupid script they teach you in training. That's retarded. I don't do that. And I don't use their printout of this, and I don't do it that way. I do it a totally different way than they teach. blah, blah, blah. I did everything completely opposite of where the company taught, which is why I broke every record in the company. And people have followed me, which is pretty much everyone in the office followed something I did, and rose up the whole office to number one. Again, I was a member of the deep state. I was undermining the true authority, the CEO, the VP of sales, the division manager, the team managers, anyone in authority. I remember in meetings, in sales meetings and training meetings, I remember in my initial training meeting, with that company, 30 days of training in a classroom. And after about a week or two, the training manager pulled me into his office and read me the riot act and almost fired me right there. He said, I really could fire you. You've got to stop. They had me sitting in the back row, idiotically, because that was the cause of a lot of this. He goes, every time I say something to do, you're kind of muttering of how dumb it is, or you're telling someone next to you to disregard that, or, and every time there's a break, people don't come up to the front of the room and ask me questions, Steve. They go to the back of the room and they all huddle around you and ask you questions. And then you tell them, oh, this is the way to really do it, and you're undermining me. So I have every mind to fire you. The thing is, I didn't hire you. Your division manager hired you, but I can have you fired. I can talk to him, but he's all high on you and says, what a superstar you're going to be. But here's the deal. If you're going to stay in my training class, no more. No more comments. No more undermining me. Once you get to your office, it's not word for word, but it's pretty much what he said. Once you get to your office and get out in the field, you do it your way. But when you're here, you don't undermine me and my training, blah, 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 blah. I was a member of the deep state. I was undermining the true authority because I felt I knew better, and I had to be the hero and help everybody else to not go down the road of the bad training from the bad trainer. I had to rescue all of them. That's what the deep state is. It doesn't care who's the president. I remember, what is it, like 12, 13 years ago now when Obama came in office, and he was yapping all about it. I think he still is. I'm going to close Guantanamo. I'm going to close Guantanamo. I'm going to close Guantanamo. I'm going to get us out of the war, get us out of the war, get us out of the war. And that the first day in office, the deep state, the people actually in charge of everything, sat him down and said, okay, yeah, that was great, and you won the election, and, bully for you, but we were here long before you, and we're going to be here long after you're gone, and this is the way it is. You are not ending the war. In fact, you're going to start droning all kinds of people, and he killed more people for no reason at all with drone. It was a droner in chief. They said, you're going to actually deport people at the border. He became the deporter in chief. And there's no way you're closing Guantanamo Bay. I don't care what you say or what you think, you ain't doing it. So you can do all kinds of fun, fluffy stuff that doesn't matter at all, like, gay marriage and LGBTQ, whatever, rights, and fly the rainbow flag. And, you can do all that kind of nonsense. You can get people all worked up to hate the cops and cause all kinds of trouble there. But you are not messing with the military-industrial complex that actually runs everything. You're not ending the war. You're not closing Guantanamo. You're not cutting the military budget to shreds. You are not doing all kinds of things that they just told them. I don't care what you think. We are really in charge. And of course, unless you just think, Obama, who spent his whole life, certainly adult life, railing against military and wars and yapped about closing Guantanamo anytime anyone asked him on the campaign trail. You think he just suddenly changed his mind when he got into office and suddenly said, yeah, you know what? Actually, I love Guantanamo. Let's keep it open. And man, that war in Iraq, Afghanistan, yeah, let's surge the troops and I love that war, actually. I love droning and killing strangers, not even knowing who they are or if we're killing the right people. Yeah, I love all that, for sure. Yeah, come on now. So anybody that ever tells you, oh, there's no deep state, that's a conspiracy theory, what a nut, what a crazy, wow, they've likely never been a member of even a small family. My family was mom, dad, and 2 kids, 4 people in the entire organization, and there was a deep state. I'm guessing it happens in, every family, all the time. It's got to happen all the time. In fact, I hear, I don't have kids myself, but I hear it all the time from parents. They go, man, my kids are great. They ask me for something. If I say no, they go to mom. Or they just come to me and say, mom said it's okay. The kids being a member of the deep state, 6-year-old kids are members of the deep state. So you don't think that intelligent, capable adults are members of the deep state? In other words, want things done their way, even though they're not technically supposed to have the power? Give me a break. Of course, there's a deep state in every church, every business, just about every family, especially if you go out from the nuclear family. There's people that are undermining everything all over the place that don't really have the power to do it. That's the very difference of the deep state. You think the only place there's no deep state, the only place that doesn't happen is in the government? Really now? For people that think there's no deep state in the government, you think there's the only place that longtime people there do it their way. Talk about a business. How many times does the secretary refuse to read the sales script when the calls come in? Does she say, I'm not going to read that. I know better than the boss. I'm not going to do the paperwork the way he wants. I'm not going to greet people the way I know better. I've been here for 20 years. The boss is brand new. Or the boss's son came in. What does he know? I know better. I've been here longer. Or I've been somewhere else for a long time. Or, everywhere. People are undermining true authority, which is the very definition of the deep state. So next time you see here or you read somebody on social media or whatever going like, oh, what a conspiracy. There is no deep state in the government. Like, just start laughing your head off. Like, are you out of your mind? And if you're a renegade, which is basically almost every entrepreneur, that's why we're entrepreneurs, then you will laugh knowing that you are a renegade. You are a member of the deep state. No matter what the rules are, you're going to find a way around them. That's how things get done. That's how inventions come about. That's how new businesses come about. If we didn't have someone getting around the rule, if Henry Ford, well, it wasn't Ford, but before him, invention of the car, if somebody didn't do that, we'd all be driving horse and buggies until somebody said, yeah, I know that's the way it's supposed to be, but I ain't doing that. Steve Jobs, yeah, I know a phone is a phone, but I ain't doing that. I'm going to make a phone basically be a computer, and people are going to use it for pretty much everything but calling people on the phone. Nowadays, you call someone on the phone, they think that's rude. I get text messages, hey, can I call you? I'm like, you think you had your, let me get this straight. You had your phone in your hand. You knew my phone number. And instead of just call me, first you sat there with your little fingers and thumbs and you typed it all out with these tiny little letters. And now I have to read all that and respond. We could have been done with the phone call already. Just call me, it's a phone. But Steve Jobs said, yeah, I'm going to not do a phone the way the phone's been. That's what entrepreneurs do. So we, better than anybody, know that, of course, there's a deep state, and we got to watch out for it in our business. We know that there's employees in our business not doing the things that we want done, doing it their way, bucking up against us. So we always have to pick our battles and make a decision. Okay, do I really call him on that, or do I let him do it? Is it really not a big deal? Again, the manager calling me into his office when it got to be what he thought was a really big deal, probably driving him crazy. But he waited a couple of months or so. He probably tried, and then I don't know, but he probably finally got exasperated and said, I've got to do something about this. I got to confront the deep state and ask them to stop undermining the true authority. So, anyway. That'll do it for Throwback Thursday. I threw it back to when I was a kid, over 50 years ago, throw it back to 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, on and on. Sports, I didn't even get into sports, but how many times as a player get the coach fired, right? The coach says we're going to do this, and LeBron James goes, yeah, it's not the way it works here. I make $50 million a year, you make $2 million a year, you're replaceable in 2 seconds, I am not. So no matter what you say about what drills or what time you got to show up or whatever, this is the way things are going to work around here, right? The deep state at work. So next time someone tells you, oh, the deep state, what a conspiracy, nutcase theory, what are you at, a crackpot out of your mind? First of all, just walk away and laugh. But if you want to, just shake your head and go oh, pobre si. Sucks to be them. They're that clueless. There's a lot of clueless people around, by the way, so I don't think everyone's watching this video, and plenty that are sitting there going, yeah, no, that's not true. Steve's a nutcase and a crack case. So you know what? There's always going to be clueless people who don't realize that a deep state exists everywhere. So, of course, it exists in the United States government, probably more than anywhere else. It's the biggest behemoth ever growing, out of control growth biggest employer in the country. It's unbelievable how many deep state operatives are all over the U.S. government, for crying out loud. Anyway, that'll do it for Throwback Thursday. I'll catch you back here again tomorrow on Foundation Friday with another in our multi-part series on the fantastic book by Dr. David Shea Schwartz, The Magic of Thinking Big. Catch you tomorrow with the magic. Over now.